You know that feeling when you're re-driving down a road, and then all of a sudden it seems like you've been on that same road for hours? You're literally going nowhere. Well, it turns out that our lives have become a lot like that. The culprit is right there in our pockets or bags. It's our smartphones. Welcome to The Introduction, where we explore how the tools we built to help us might just be changing us forever. Their original purpose was to allow people to communicate with each other more easily and to give users access to information whenever they needed it. Endless scrolling feeds, the satisfaction of clicking that like button, and the anticipation of opening a notification all triggered the release of dopamine in our brains. This is the same chemical that's released when we eat junk food, gamble, or use drugs. This helped us develop important social skills like reading body language, understanding social cues, and learning how to control our emotions around others. The way we hold our phones, the way we walk, and the way we sit has all changed since smartphones became popular. This has led to all sorts of physical problems, including weaker eyesight, posture issues, poor sleep, and what's known as text neck. Some experts believe that smartphones will eventually become part of our evolutionary path and analyze vast amounts of data about us. It's easy to stay in touch with friends and family or meet new people online. How can we break free of our phones before it's too late? And don't forget to like and subscribe to The Introduction for more amazing videos. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
There's no easy answer.
But some things that might help are taking regular digital detox breaks, limiting the amount of time we spend on our phones, and practicing mindfulness so that we're less likely to get lost in the endless scroll feed. By taking these steps, we can start to reclaim our attention and get back control of our lives before it's too late. But this has come at a cost. We're becoming lonelier despite being more connected than ever. A recent study found that nearly 1 in 5 Americans feel lonely all the time. A separate study found that smartphone use is positively correlated with loneliness. This is because smartphones simulate connection, but they don't replace the real thing. When we interact with other people face to face, we build real relationships based on trust and mutual understanding. But when we interact with other people through a screen, these relationships are much weaker. It's like the difference between knowing someone's name and actually getting to know them as a person. With our phones, we can have thousands of digital friends, but none of them will ever really know us. The information these phones collect is then used by algorithms to decide what we see, how we think, and even when we sleep. For example, Facebook's algorithm is designed to keep you on the app for as long as possible. It does this by showing you content that's tailored to your interests and by making sure that you always have new notifications to check. This means that you are more likely to see things that confirm your existing beliefs, and that you are less likely to be exposed to new ideas. This means that humans of the future may have shorter attention spans, be less able to focus, and be more dependent on technology than we are today. Some even believe that smartphones are causing a decline in critical thinking skills and memory. After all, why remember something when you can just Google it? If this is true, it would be a sad turn of events, since our species has spent millions of years developing these skills. But if we can't break free of our phones, it may be the way things end up going. Text neck is a condition where the neck becomes severely misaligned due to looking down at a screen for too long. In extreme cases, it can even cause permanent damage. However, now that we're always glued to our screens, we're missing out on all of those important lessons. For example, many of us now experience phantom vibrations, when we think we feel our phone vibrating when it's actually silent. Some of us also compulsively check our phones even when we know there's nothing new on them. And a lot of us suffer from FOMO, or fear of missing out, which makes us feel like we need to stay connected to our phones at all times in case something important happens. These are all signs that our brains have literally been hijacked by our phones. Face-to-face interaction has declined drastically, especially among kids and teens. According to a study by the Pew Research Center, teens are spending an average of 7.5 hours a day on their phones. And according to the Wall Street Journal, the amount of time parents spend interacting with their kids has dropped by 1/3 since smartphones became popular. This has led to a whole host of problems, including poor social skills, an inability to read social cues, and a general lack of empathy and emotional intelligence. Over time, this has reduced our attention spans and made us unable to focus on one thing for too long. Instead, we constantly jump from one thing to another. And because our brains have gotten used to this constant stream of dopamine, we feel the need to check our phones constantly throughout the day. We can use them to find the answers to just about any question, contact anyone we want, play games, take photos and videos, shop, bank, and do almost anything else we can think of. Phones were supposed to make our lives easier and free up our time so we could focus on other things. Instead, we've ended up spending most of our waking hours on them. These devices were meant to make our lives easier. They're supposed to help us communicate, be more productive, and get information faster. But somewhere along the way, they've turned against us. Researchers from the University of London have found that excessive smartphone use is actually changing the way our brains work. All that scrolling and tapping is making our brains less capable of deep, focused thinking. Instead, they say our brains are being rewired to handle multiple distractions at once. Basically, our brains are getting worse at doing pretty much everything except for absorbing mindless content. Now they're controlling us instead of the other way around. So how exactly did this happen? Let's take a look at 10 ways smartphones have hijacked human evolution. No. 1. The original purpose. At their core, smartphones are really simple devices. No. 2. The dopamine trap. Smartphones are designed to be addictive. No. 3. Rewiring the brain. Not only have smartphones made us less patient, they've also changed the very structure of our brains. Number 4. Social development. Back in the days before smartphones, we used to spend a lot of time interacting with other people face to face. No. 5. Physical evolution. Smartphones aren't just bad for our brains, they're also messing with our bodies. No. 6. Digital reflexes. Because of how ingrained smartphones have become in our daily lives, we've developed all sorts of strange reflexes. No. 7. A new evolutionary path. As technology continues to advance, it's likely that our relationship with our phones will continue to change. Number 8. Algorithms and control. While our phones may seem like they're just simple tools, they're actually incredibly powerful computers that collect. No. 9. A connected world. One of the biggest promises of smartphones was that they would connect us with other people. In some ways, they've done that. Number 10. The way out. So what's the solution? What do you think? Are smartphones good or bad? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to The Introduction for more amazing videos. Thanks for watching. Next time.